This thing.
Don't use it then. Just record it.
It's not. No, it wasn't the audio this time. It was the video was acting wonky.
Is it good now?
I think it's good now. Let's do another sound. How you doing?
Sound. How you doing?
Yeah.
I am jacked up on this coffee, dude. I might need to get some water. This is I don't really drink coffee that much. I have like kind of a cup a day, and it's always like weak Starbucks stuff. This is 2 very strong cups of coffee in a row.
Well, this is what you get here,
and on an empty stomach, because God forbid you have some kind of spread.
Well, when I make
you have some continental spread for me.
I did. I have a drawer full of Reese's.
Reese's Thins.
Yeah, Thin Daddies, but they're good.
They are good. And then you have a cupboard with Reese's Puffs. You have more shit food in your house than I do.
Yeah. And look at how, those Reese's Puffs are.
There's something.
Well, they're also probably a year old.
And it's great when you don't have to mix them with Cracklin' Oat Bran.
That's true. Well, I like the Cracklin'. The little squares. You talking?
I was so mad he used to do that. He would when he would mix the cereal. It
was like he would cut the cereal with, how you cut cocaine with like fentanyl or like bleach, or other garbage. Yeah, glass.
He had no problem feeding me 2 buttered Pop-Tarts, but a whole bowl of Reese's Puffs. That was too much sugar. I needed to cut it.
Yeah,
with some fiber.
Here's the dangerous. It would have been healthier if the Pop-Tarts were with real butter. He used that margarine like country cock, can't believe it's not butter. Yeah. And
dude, we were how we all weren't fat when we were younger.
Well, because you ate all my food.
But for Cheska, she was chubby. Mom and Dad were chubby. Dad was much heavier. Dad's probably from his peak.
Cheska also, for Cheska now is different because she's post-kid.
No, I know. I think she was chubby back then.
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember.
No, she's in better shape now, even after post-kid, because she takes care of herself. She cooks healthy for the kids.
She does Peloton.
Does Peloton. She's also trying to run around and get Vera is a full-time.
You burn a lot of cows, yeah.
But I tell people we used to have the cheeseburger bagels.
Yeah, that? But I never finished one.
What was wrong with you?
A lot. Still.
I took care of it for you.
Yeah. Now we're playing catch up.
Well, now we're
no.
You're gaining because you have all that pec meat now. I'm losing, and we're gonna meet. We were here, and now we're here.
Yeah, probably closer.
Inches, man. We just, I'm climbing Everest.
12 inches.
Yeah. No, please, at least. But I think of how much I think of how much I used to eat even a couple of years ago. I look at what normal people eat still. Somebody, not a sausage and peppers.
That's not normal. He's playing with house money.
But I look at even you, or if we're with Crush or something, and we get food, so we get lunch, and he just has a whole sub sandwich, and I'm like, how do you eat a whole? I would throw up if I had a whole sub sandwich. There's not enough room. All my fat is just the fat.
It's fat. Stored. It's not stomach. It's not big.
I don't
have
a big stomach
it's
anymore. My
fat
stomach is
on the outside of the.
My stomach is actually very small now. I can't eat even half of what I could even 2 years ago because I trained myself not to. I still can over the course of a day put back some calories.
Put it away.
But I couldn't even finish the steak when we went for post-championship steaks.
Yeah, that was a disappointment.
I oddly enough, I am not hungry after even after I did my 11-mile one.
Well, no, immediately after you don't get hungry.
I think that after my 11-mile one, later that night I had a lot of chicken parm, but that was at 8 or 9 o'clock. I had chicken parm or something. But I only had
always got to wash it down with some sort of parm, chicken, meatball, veal. Eggplant, veal. Sure.
Are you a fan of sausage parmesan?
I never had it.
You've had it.
No.
You never had it?
No.
Oh, well, you know what it is.
I imagine it's pretty similar to the other parms. Yeah, I would like it.
Nailed it.
Yeah. Yeah, because I like sausage in the gravy.
Then you had it. It's just
and then you just go cheese. Mozzarella on top, which is funny to me because they call it Parmesan. And you don't. It's probably from Parmigiana.
No.
Parmigiana.
You have the worst dialect of any Italian.
That's not dialect.
Yeah, like accents.
Yeah, because I'm not Italian. I'm from America.
No, when saying that was dialect. When saying the name of the plate, because you're not trying to do an accent, you're trying to say the proper the worst pronunciation.
That's it. It's not dialect.
I think what you're supposed to do
is learn the language before you say it.
In terms of preparing the dish.
Oh,
I think you're supposed to add a lot of Parmesan to the sauce. And then I think that when you do the breadcrumbs, you also add Parmesan to the breadcrumbs when you batter whatever meat you're doing. So if you're doing chicken parm, I think there's actually Parmesan in the breadcrumbs. So that makes it Parmesan, and then it's topped with or it could just be from the Parmesan region. Do you know in the Parmesan region, like wheels of Parmesan are used as like
wheels
or like currency?
Oh,
they have banks of aged Parmesan, and some of these are
like commodities, like Bitcoin.
It's like a commodity. Yeah. And then they have like a fraud division, people pumping out fake parm.
Yeah. What is it? Yeah. Is it like imitation parm?
Parm
counterfeit parm?
Like authentic
counter parm?
Yeah. Authentic Parmigiano Reggiano is like there's a certain recipe and it has to come from a certain region. So if people are passing off phony parms, and as authentic
bootleg parms,
bootleg parms,
prohibition parms, got to watch out for that.
You got to watch out for those fake parms.
All right, jabronis, we're back. Got Nicky Styxx on today. This is your first time back post Rocky run, post championship run.
This is my first time, first of all, in Site Alpha ever, because I haven't been down here since the pandemic, and you started this during or like immediately following the pandemic.
Right before, same week, right before we actually got forced to stay home.
Yeah, because I was here literally 3 weeks before that. I remember because when I left here, I can't remember why I was here that week, and it was in February, definitely. And then I went home and I had a date like that afternoon, and
Gave
I was
her
very
COVID.
hungover. No, but I remember she was like very, very left wing, and at the time, like it was that time where like a lot of people didn't think COVID was like a real thing. Like, we're not gonna. It's fine. It was just like the swine flu or whatever,
the Heine flu, the H1N1.
Yeah, and she's like, no, it's gonna come. It's gonna get us all. She turned out, she was right.
She did?
No, but it got me. Took me down. Cut me down to my prime.
Yeah, but you survived.
I mean, yeah, more or less. But so I haven't been to Site Alpha at all.
No, this is your first time here in the actual the compound, in the studio, in the compound, and all those in YouTube.
I swear, I think that was the best thing that happened all weekend. Was that purchase?
Yeah, watching you crush your time was pretty good for me. Anyway,
I don't know. I know how I was able to do the time through your training and just working hard and. But I don't know. You saw how dead I was those last 2 miles. How I was able to sprint.
Yeah, that was a little frustrating.
So
here's why it was frustrating. You just admitted to it because you were able to sprint at the end. I knew you had sauce. You had a lot of juice left. There was juice left. It's all mental. I kept telling you it's mental. I was so afraid
those last 2 miles of I had a quarter of an inch left in me, and I'm like, if I can't use this.
No, you just got
now. I have to use it. I did not
gotta push through,
but I did not want to finish where everyone was watching and be it like last time where I'm like, I just struggle across the finish line. I'm like, when I had that last quarter of an inch of juice left, if I'm gonna use this any time, I'm not gonna spread it out over these next 2 miles. I'm gonna store it and I'm gonna use it in that last.
You underestimated your juice.
I mean, actually, as I was sprinting that last 10th, I'm like, this is actually like I got.
You underestimated your juice. A lot of juice. I kept telling you. Me and Weasel kept telling you. A lot of juice left. A lot of gravy. A lot of sauce in the pot. You didn't believe us.
That was, I don't know. The last 2 was really. So that last 2, remember when I was telling you I had a lot of trouble with my 11 mile?
Yeah.
The last 2 was probably the last 5 of my 11 miler. Like that entire 11 mile of training run was as bad. Like I just had nothing left that day.
Well, that's why you train.
Yeah.
You hit the wall in training and you push through it there. So the race time, like I said, you did. You can do the distance. You did it already.
And I honestly think I would have. I think the hill took a lot out of me because I was making record time for me up through the hill, which was at overall it was probably mile 5, mile 6. It's probably mile 6, right?
On the 10 mile or the
on
overall?
the whole thing, it was probably I think it was like mile 6 out of 13.
Probably
because I crushed the 5K in like 11:40.
Yeah, pace. We're talking. I mean, that's impossible.
Okay. 11:40 pace, and then we were still on an under 12 pace for at least my first 2 miles of the 10 miler. So my first 5 miles, I was booking an under 12 minute pace.
We were between 11:30 and 12:15 pace, which was fine. And then after the hill, it was like 13 to 13:45 pace,
which I think is still good for like
which is good.
Trained.
I told you it was good until the last 2 miles where I knew you had sauce left, and you kept saying, "No, I gotta pace myself." And I was like, "Listen to me, you got nothing but juice left. I'm telling you, a lot of juice. Trust me on this." It was all mental.
Again, I only had the last race to compare it to, where I did no training.
Well, you had no sauce.
I had no juice. Sauce, but I was surprised by like the next day how much I was able to like move around and like, oh yeah, like I'm just like kind of sore and it's fine. Whereas the last one, I remember going into work like 4 days later after the first race we did and still like almost being unable to walk, like having to like tiptoe around the office. And this was like 4 days after the race.
Yeah.
This time I could have gone for a run on Monday. Like I probably should have worked out this week. But I could have gone for a jog on Monday and been okay, like a 3 or 4 miler. So
yeah, but
I'm gonna keep this starting this week. I know you're working on my workout plan. But
it's gonna be a, what do you call it? It's like a phased approach, like a couple months of doing one style, and then we change it up to like. It's comprehensive. It's not done yet.
Because I probably need to lose more fat first. I don't want to do any kind of like bulking, like, a heavy deadlift or like super heavy. Like I feel like that's not what I need right now. I need like lighter weight and like a lot of movement and like the ball, the balls where you do the thing and you throw them.
Yeah.
What are they called? Throwing balls?
I think they're throwing balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tossing
balls.
Yeah.
Toss a ball.
Yeah.
It'll be more of like a cut, like, more higher intensity type of stuff, and then we'll get you into the building hurting bombs.
Yeah,
as the Duke
can
said.
I still run? I actually do. I don't mind running now.
Yeah,
I was gonna do like 2 days, 3 to 4 mile, like Monday and Wednesday, 3 to 4 miles, and then maybe like a 5 miler on a Sunday morning.
I was gonna say like one Wednesday and then a weekend run.
So just one during the week, one on the weekend.
That's two a week.
As long as you have my other, I want to work out at least 5 days a week. Obviously different body parts, but I noticed, especially this week, not doing anything. I'm not obviously some kind of fitness guy.
Yeah.
But I've noticed my anxiety and my stress this week was actually worse than any of the training weeks because I haven't done any kind of exercise this week at all. And
but physically, your body needs a reset every once in a while.
Yeah, but like
there's a reason why
done something. I could have gone out twice this week and done 2 miles.
You could have done some active resting if you. Yeah, but again, give your body the week. Like, it's okay. You're not gonna turn into nothing or blow back up to 300 pounds again.
Yeah, but it's the fear of that keeps me grounded. It's the fear of turning back into that, which is why it's like, even once in a while.
If you're turning back into that in a week,
no.
You got problems that I can't even comprehend.
But it's the fear of turning back into that, which is why even when I'm like being naughty, like when I went to the steakhouse.
Don't say that.
You know what I mean? Even when I'm being.
No, I don't.
Even when I'm being.
Clip that. We're going to delete that.
even when I'm being like giving myself a treat, like when I went to the steakhouse, I'm still not eating the whole steak and all the sides, even on a treat day, because I'm afraid if I slip back into that once, though. It's like being an addict. like food is an addiction. I'm not trying to go Dr. Phil here.
Yeah,
but I'm afraid if I slip once and have, oh, come on, it's a UFC fight. I'll have 5 slices of pizza. Once I do it once, I'm going to slip back in.
That's not a slip. That's like, no one's thinking to myself, oh, I'll just have 5 slices of pizza. It starts with one slice, and then you're like, oh, I'll have 2, and then you're like, oh, I could do one more. I could do one more. And then
2 is my limit. Like I have not had more than 3 slices of pizza in the past 2 years in a sitting, and that was broken up like 2, and then maybe 2 hours later have another one.
Yeah, that's not really one sitting.
Yeah, but like in the same day time frame.
Sure.
Never have not had more than 3 drinks in any kind of sitting in 2 years.
Well, that's what I've been trying to tell you. You don't need it. A and B. The key to your success is not like the gym; it's the diet. It's the discipline. Yeah. So you just racked discipline for a while.
You rack a discipline.
But this workout, well, it'll be like mentally frustrating because you're not going to see. It's tough to see progress when you see yourself every day. It takes a while for you to look at yourself in the mirror and be like,
now it's going to.
Yeah,
I saw progress early when I first stopped eating. When was it?
When you're
2020
cutting.
Well, that's the thing is I lost all of that weight. I don't want to say immediately, but I lost most of that. What did I lose? Like 60 pounds. I was 290 and now I'm 242. So
at the 50, height when this all started,
when everything started, I was
before the first race.
I was 312.
So January 2018.
So I was 312 and now I'm 242. So a total of 70 pounds.
Yeah. And that's the key. So I know it's like 2018 to now is 4 years.
Yeah, but I could have done better at that because I want to say.
I mean, that
first batch.
You did oscillate.
That first batch where you came up for the week after the holidays and we went to the gym every day and you showed me all the exercise and then we had the Excel sheet. I did that for just under a year. And I want to say I probably got to the 270s. So I lost about 30 or 40
You got
pounds.
to 268, I believe.
Yeah. And then
before race, you started losing it again.
And then the race, I barely trained for the race. Then after the race, I'm like, oh, well, I did that race. I'm going to take like a month off from working out. And so then you're in the holidays.
Couple months, yeah.
Then you're in the holiday period. I gained all the weight back. And then you were in 2019, where I kind of leveled out at like 290. No, I probably leveled out at like 280. COVID happened. I got a little crazy for that first month. And I drank a ton, like bottles of bourbon, and it was pasta and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Meatball subs, like
toss it back. And then that's when I got back to 210, or to 290. Started having my stomach and anxiety problems, and my doctor's like, "You gotta stop. Like, you gotta chill out.
You gotta listen to your brother. Yeah. You never listen to your brother.
You never listen to your brother."
But what my point was before I was interrupted was that, like, on the surface, 70 plus pounds over 4 years is like, took you 4 years to lose that. Like, what you want to do. It's a lifestyle change. And we've been talking about that for years, of like since the beginning. Like, it's a lifestyle change. We're not looking for the crash diet,
right?
To burn 100 pounds in 60 days. It's like, that's not sustainable. It's also not very healthy to do it that way. So I know it's like mentally, probably emotionally frustrating when you're like, I only lost 70 pounds. Not for you, but like people are like, only 70 pounds. It's like, no, that's the goal.
70 pounds sustainable.
Right.
Sustainable,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Because
again, you're not going to, like, in 2018, you dropped 40 pounds or whatever it was. And then within 2 months, you were back up another 20 pounds. That's not what you want.
Yeah.
Like, so it looked good on paper, like, oh, I lost this much weight really quick, and then it's like, then you gained it back really quick.
Yeah, I've been at around this weight now.
I've been around for quite some time. Yes,
I've been this weight almost exactly for a year, because it was right around the time I got COVID, around right after Thanksgiving last year is when I was started to weigh in at like.
Was it that long ago?
In the 240s was around.
No, when you got COVID, I mean.
It was 3 days after Thanksgiving.
Oh, all right, I forgot. I wasn't here.
It seemed
trenches of warfare.
It seemed
the modern day D-Day is what they call it.
It seemed like a while because I they wouldn't let me back into work until I tested negative, and that took me well into
wouldn't let you play on the tour anymore.
Into the middle of January. So like I was out. I didn't go to the office the entire month of December.
Yeah,
which sucked.
But it helped.
Yeah, but then I hit 240 right around then, and it's gone.
Yeah,
it's gone
so far,
and there's nothing you can do.
No, I mean if you keep crushing those Reese's Thins.
Well, they're called Thins. Don't put that on the box if you don't want me to eat them. It'd be thin.
Here's the trick is when you think you're going to grab a thin and you grab a regular, you eat the wrapper by accident.
That's what the trick to what?
That's the trick that I'm going to pull on you. Like you're going to think it's all Thins and then it's going to be a regular Reese's and you're going to be.
If you think by now I can't tell the weight differential in snack foods after all my years of experience, you got another thing coming. If you think I can't blindly pick up a Reese's and know if it's thin or thick.
Maybe it's more like wishful thinking. I hope you can't do that.
No, Johnny, I'm a trained professional.
I'm a real problem.
Well, big time.
Yeah, big time. But why don't we step into the cage?
Yeah. We've been
playing this dick dance forever, so we'll step into the cage.
Okay, let's run.
Today's Into the Cage segment is proudly sponsored by Styxx Champion House of French Toast. Have you heard of Waffle House or IHOP? I bet you never heard of a French Toast House. Well, now you have. At SCHFDT, we have every type of French toast imaginable, like French toast or French toast with fruit on top, and not much more. Try our special Italian stallion French toast, a big slice of panettone fried to a crisp with a shot of espresso. Not only do we have all three types of French toast, we also don't have eggs. This is the legendary restaurant, by the way, that current LPDS guest champ Nicky Styxx Libretti ate at before his iconic performance to defeat the puny Crusher. By the way, any mention of Crusher will get you immediately banned from the premises, and we will throw French toast at you while you leave. So, to try some French toast at the French Toast House today, visit now and enjoy a 26% discount when you use the coupon code ThickSticks. I wonder who wrote that one.
We also don't have eggs.
So... Crusher's not going to be happy about that.
Well, I mean, second place is never happy. You know what I mean?
No, this first loser is never happy. All due respect to the Crusher.
All no respect to the
So
Crusher.
We still are waiting for the belt ceremony, which is exciting. I haven't mentioned it yet, but there will be a belt ceremony.
It's going to have to be a Crown Christmas because if it's not here by this weekend.
By today, pretty much.
It's going to be here by today, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But Cage Fact, very quick one. Everybody's tracking the movie Raising Arizona. It's Cage's. You got some coffee on the stash. It's going to bother me.
You need accoutrement.
Yeah, this is a low budget operation here. Raising Arizona was his first starring role. Like he played in shit before, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, where he was billed as Nick Coppola.
Moonstruck was before Raising Arizona, but it was
I think it was after.
Was it? I'll do a Google check.
I think Raising Arizona was 87. I thought Moonstruck was after. But his role in that what's that?
I'm listening.
The role in that and the movie itself was they said the Coen brothers and him agreed that it should be sort of a live action cartoony type, a feel to it. Sort of like a Woody Woodpecker cartoon, except a live action.
I forgot that the Coen brothers did that.
Right. But in true Nick Cage fashion, he really leaned into the Woody Woodpecker specific feel. Mm-hmm. So that's why his hair is wild, kind of like Woody Woodpecker's mohawk. How you doing? Yeah. And he also got a Woody Woodpecker tattoo on his arm for the movie.
He's still there?
Yeah, of course it is.
No, you can get a laser removal.
No, he's not doing that. He's not doing anything like that. He's in it to win it. So That's the Cage fact. It was, if you go watch the movie, it actually was like not a flop on the box office, but it was not very successful. It became a cult classic.
He's the drunk, right?
No, that's Leaving Las Vegas. Raising Arizona is where he's like an ex-con and they kidnap a baby, and then his two buddies, John Goodman and Richie from the Hey Richie, what's that movie? The Steven Seagal movie. Richie, the guy who plays Rich mustache.
Oh, William Forsythe.
William Forsythe, that's it. Yeah, he was also in The Rock.
Yeah. He was
with Nick Cage. Yeah. Him, and I think it was him and John Goodman were his con buddies who escaped prison and try to also kidnap the kid. Good movie. It's actually
the Coen brothers have this very weird ability to like make these. They're crime movies, but they're so weird. Like if you think about Fargo, Big Lebowski, they're all like crime movies, but they're like not really.
No, they're like.
When you think of a crime movie, you think of like Heat.
Yes.
You know.
Bob De Niro, Al Pacino, Val Kilmer.
You have like the Big Lebowski is like a crime noir caper, but then it's also not
who done it.
Yeah, it's a who done it, but then it's also the psychedelic.
It's also trip. Not at all.
I really liked it. I really like Big Lebowski, but
that's the.
By the way, they were both
the Cage fact.
They were both
easy.
87, Moonstruck and Raising Arizona.
Okay.
87.
Wow,
big
two
year.
powerful movies for the great one.
Yeah, and you were all a year old when those came out.
That's why
you probably saw them on the
dial, the dial TV. I turned to channel 12 because that's all we had.
I want to say we had HBO from a relatively young age.
Yeah, that was one thing that they always. Well, I don't remember. I thought back in the day HBO was part of cable, and then it became premium.
No, it was. Oh, the whole point of it was always premium.
You're gonna spin the Junction logo up, by the way.
Yeah, that's why they had. Like all the comedy specials and like the uncensored. You remember even Arliss? I want to say was like the first HBO show like that. You know, like that kind of like adult show.
Yeah.
And I want to say that was in the late 90s, like 98.
Yeah, 99. But before that, I thought HBO was just part of cable, and then they realized like we can't just have the Wild West out here on regular cable.
Sorry.
Easy.
I remember them having like not like sexual stuff, but like uncensored movies on HBO, like even back when we lived in Rockaway.
Yeah.
But so it must have been like a private thing. You couldn't just flip through the channels and get HBO.
Yeah, it was number 22 on the box.
Yeah, but that's because we had it.
I think in the beginning it wasn't like that. And then they realized like we should probably put this behind a paywall of some sort.
The first paywall.
Yeah. Because back in the day when cable expanded, it was the Wild West. It was like the internet almost. They didn't know what the hell to do.
I remember watching Last Action Hero on HBO in Rockaway when we lived in Rockaway.
Yeah.
And then I remember watching Terminator 2 on the VHS.
The VHS, yeah. But Last Action Hero is super underrated.
Who texted me? I think it was
Crusher. Probably Crusher. He just watched it recently. He hit me up about it too.
It's actually getting a lot more love now from people. It's great. It's like not even jokingly great. Like some of the films that you discuss. I mean, it's
easy.
It's legit.
Tread lightly.
Don't tread on me. It's a legitimately great movie.
Oh yeah, and there's a lot of like top tier guys in it.
There's a lot of cameos of people as the Jean-Claude Van Damme plays himself.
Yeah,
at the opening,
because they're at the red carpet.
Yeah, Arnold plays himself.
Yeah, that was great. A little fourth dimension crisscross. How you doing? Arnold Braunschweiger.
I know that who's the guy that played the main bad guy because he was in
Benedict.
Yeah, but he was in Game of Thrones too. He's
the red guy, beard.
Yeah,
I don't know his name.
You got it there.
You have his you have the ability to look though.
Oh yeah.
But
it's gonna go to Last Action Hero.
I remember one of our cousins told us about that movie, and he was explaining it. I was like, "This sounds stupid." Dave, Big Dave.
The Aunt Mary Ann's Dave?
No.
The Dave V.
Stuyvesant Dave.
Yeah, Stuyvesant Dave. Poor Dave.
Yeah, poor Dave. Yeah. Hero Dave. Unsung Hero Dave. When he was explaining, I was like, this kind of sounds like I don't want to watch a movie about some kid who likes Houdini. Like, got it.
It sounded very much like what was the Macaulay Culkin one where he gets pulled into the book and Christopher Lloyd
Oh
is
yeah,
like a
the
wizard.
the Page Master or whatever.
It sounded like that kind of.
That was a good movie though.
I mean, yeah, Macaulay Culkin had an era.
Yeah, he was on top of the world.
And Christopher Lloyd had an era right around that time. Was the era of CL.
Yeah, he was crushing.
Between Back to the Future, Addams Family, Who Framed Roger Rabbit,
Dennis the Menace, Page View,
Master,
Angels in the Outfield, crushing. Wow, a lot of bangers.
Respect.
Yeah, a lot of real hitters.
A lot of just fire from the Lloyd.
And he still got it. He was in
the
Normal Man. Nobody, the movie Nobody.
Yeah, and he's badass in that movie too.
Yeah, that was another good movie with Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah.
So that's a.
What were you? So you were saying?
I don't know.
About the Dave was telling you about the thing.
Oh yeah, he was telling me about the movie, and I was like, "This doesn't sound like anything I would watch. I don't care about a kid who's gay for Houdini."
But like, there's no way that's how he described it because Houdini is such a small.
I was
part
too
of that.
young to actually
You knew
understand
who Houdini was at that point.
Dave said like the magician Houdini, but the way he described it and when my stupid brain as a kid, underdeveloped brain, it still is. I was just like, all I heard was a kid who likes Houdini, which is not correct. That's not what he said. He actually explained the movie. He was talking to Dad.
Yeah.
So they were like two adults were talking about it, and I was just eavesdropping like a little nosy asshole.
Queens.
Right. And I was like, I'm out of this convo because this doesn't concern me. And then when we actually watched it, I was like, this does concern me.
What? This is going to sound like a stupid question, but you'll get it. What's the gun that he uses? Is it
the Desert Eagle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the first movie that I ever saw that gun in. And then it's been in several. I know it was in The Matrix. One of the agents had it. But that was the first time I ever saw that gun. And I'm like, that thing looks ridiculous.
My old roommate Cheech has one.
Really?
The
50?
Yep.
Because I know
not the 45, the full on. How you?
I think they make a 44 Magnum.
I think it's 45. Either way, there's an imitation version.
Yeah.
He had the real thing, and
did you shoot it?
We almost took down a tree with one magazine.
Really?
Yeah.
But the whole round is not as big as like a 50 cal like sniper because it can't fit. So it must have a shorter.
The bullet is, but it's smaller cartridge for gunpowder and
that
such.
Thing must be packed with gunpowder then to get that.
It's tough. Like I think one of his friends shot it and like it came out of his hand almost. Yeah, it's powerful.
Is that the most powerful thing you ever shot? That sounded like an intro to a porno.
Yeah.
Is that the most powerful thing you've ever shot?
That's all we have tonight, folks. Family show. I mean, for a handgun, definitely.
How about for like anything long range?
I mean, if I throw in like a decent shotgun shell in my 12 gauge, that's pretty powerful on the shoulders.
Yeah, but I've shot a 12 gauge. It's not.
Yeah, but you shot bird shot. That's nothing.
No, I've shot.
If you shot a buckshot,
I shot a whatchamacallit once. Like the not the plug. What's it called? When it's like a slug. Like
yeah,
when it's like a round in there, but it's you know what I mean, where it's like a
turkey load slug. Like they're more powerful than like a bird shot for skeet or trap shooting, but that's probably it. Like the M4 is not that powerful.
It's what 5.56.
5.56. Yeah. So I know we're going to talk about guns, and then Steve McStiff's going to get real mad. I'm going to get some angry text messages because he knows guns way better than I do.
But I would like McStiff, like for a guy who doesn't do any army.
Yeah.
A guy severely lacking in army. I'm pretty well versed.
More so than me, I'd say.
I mean, I read and I like guns.
Like guns, yeah.
And I don't even own. I can own, and I just don't. I split the Luger with that.
Right. Yeah,
time
but
share on the Luger.
I know a very little bit about like the details of guns and ammo and grains and all the specifics. And McStiff he steams it through. He's got smoke coming out of his ears when he hears.
He's the next level. Like I don't know. I know about calibers.
Sorry, Steve.
I know about calibers to a degree. But once Wikipedia started and like I had internet access,
You didn't have to remember it all.
I was Wikipediaing like every kind of like World War II firearm, and like seeing like what the different, like how the rounds looked different, like a 40 millimeter aircraft cannon compared to a 9 millimeter handgun. Like what is millimeter versus caliber versus whatever.
And I remember learning about that stuff, but I forget it.
Yeah.
Because it's not like I'm not reading about it every day.
Steel trap.
But all you didn't tell, like, what's the difference?
Gotta read it.
Yeah. You gotta,
read my book.
Yeah. The steel trap means I can't get it either. It's a trap. You gotta read my book. Steel by Styxx.
Does he own a lot? I'm guessing he probably does.
He owns a good amount of weaponry. He owns a couple of
you have I don't know if you want to talk about your own personal thing.
I only have 2 guns right now.
You had a Benelli at some point.
Yeah, that's the shotgun.
Yeah,
I still got it.
And then you got your standard issue.
My Peacekeeper. Yeah, it's not standard issue. I bought that. That's mine.
But you get a standard issue from the Army. It's from work.
Yeah, but I don't keep it here. It's like they keep it in an armory, and then we use it when we deploy. It's not even assigned to me. It's just it's not
like the FBI where you get one to take off.
No, I'm not an agent. I'm not a.
You can't just like arrest somebody at a coffee bean like I'm Air Force.
Yeah, hey, you're coming with me, and I show like my wife flip my wallet out. I'm with Army. No, that's not a real thing.
I didn't think so.
No.
What about I'm guessing MPs can't do anything out in the real world, huh?
Not out in the real world, no. They're like the investigator agents in the military, like NCIS. They go to like FBI style academies or like Department of Homeland Security, like Homeland Security Investigations Department. They get training and then they get certified and qualified to like hold a badge and a gun, like police officers, essentially.
But Gibbs can't I guess he could. He can just like arrest a mugger or something outside of a.
I think it would be more of like a citizen's type arrest because he doesn't have.
It'd be like a step up above citizen's arrest, but still below regular cop arrest.
I think so. And this is coming from zero education. I know people that are in that world are probably going to yell at me again for this. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. It's like, yeah, I know I don't. Like, I never know what I'm talking about. But I think it would be like he would arrest him and then take him to a police station and be like, hey, I just took out the trash
the aircraft carrier and be like, you're coming with me now.
Yeah, then they bag him and waterboard him and do whatever. Give him the cock meat sandwiches. Yeah,
Yorktown.
Whatever military does.
The Yorktown, that was a cool aircraft carrier.
Where was that?
Yorktown sank at. It was damaged. No, it was damaged.
Are you on heroin?
It was damaged.
I did.
It was damaged.
Sopranos poll, folks.
At the Battle of the Coral. What was before? What was the first? I think it was Battle of the Coral Sea, and then it sank. It was the only American carrier lost at Midway.
Oh,
but I remember I went to go see one of my psychiatrists as a child because I was.
Yeah, you were dealing with some shit.
Yeah. He had like the National Geographic magazines.
Yep.
And he had what's the kids one where you like
Highlights
magazine. But the National Geographic had James Cameron had just found the wreck of
James Cameron.
he had remember right after Titanic, he went on like a splurge, like I want to find every ship.
Yeah.
And he found like the Bismarck and he found the Yorktown.
Yeah.
And I remember the cover of the National Geographic was an underwater shot of the Bismarck, but it was like it's anti-aircraft guns. And I was
the Yorktown, you mean?
The Yorktown. I was 9 or 10 years old. I'm like, I'm reading
guns.
I'm reading that shit.
See, most people at that age
go to Highlights magazine.
No. If they have a National Geographic in front of them, they're looking for
like new tribes.
The banana, the tribal titties.
No. I wanted underwater.
They're
guns.
like this.
No. I wanted underwater guns.
Yeah.
What's your favorite gun?
What's your favorite gun? Nobody will get that.
Yeah, I mean, somebody has watched that episode and this one, right?
Yeah, me.
No, I'm sure Terrence.
Not even you.
McStiff or Wet Cat or
I'm sure they will.
Anyone else in the Rose Gallery of the LPDS?
I mean, that's a cast of characters.
I mean,
an really unrivaled cast.
And unfortunately, all of them are beneath me now.
Well, I know you're a big shot. You think you're hot shit now. But this is the real problem is How to hydrate with the coffee.
With the coffee.
A little espresso. Here's the real problem. You're in this world, and you always have been in this different existence altogether, where you think like way more highly of yourself than in reality.
Johnny, I don't think anyone thinks lesser of me than I do.
Dad thinks pretty low of you sometimes.
Which is like really not nice of him, because
no, mentally it's traumatizing. Out of all
three of his kids, I'm at least in the middle.
Oh yeah,
I'm at least in the middle of his kids.
Yeah,
like out of your three progeny, I'm at least the second best.
Yeah, I mean, love for Jessica to death, but
love her to death, kid.
Yeah, she is not a friend of the program.
I don't think she's ever probably listened to an episode.
No, she probably did with Crazy Carol. Did I tell you that?
What?
Crazy Carol listened to not even a full minute of one episode. It happened to be the episode where I was highly touting OnlyFans.
That was like the first episode. That
was like 4
early.
in.
That was really early.
Yeah, 4 or 5 in or something like that.
I remember listening to that one, maybe even on the way. I was on the way back from somewhere, like a long trip, and I listened to that episode. It was good.
Yeah,
when me and Pete went to Massachusetts to buy stuff.
Yeah, I think you were buying gear.
We were buying.
Yeah, stocking up on medication.
Buying sleep dreams.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool now.
But I don't know. With you in the army, I don't want to.
Well, I don't do the stuff.
I know.
I get pee-pee tested.
Did you touch it?
Yeah.
and you're good.
You're good. They just give it a little flick and they look. They're like,
this doesn't look like an army tent. Oh, it's not.
It's not. Yeah. She listened to like literally 30 seconds. She goes, I get a text message. No context. This is stupid. No idea what she's talking about. So I'm just like, all right, here we go. I was like, what's stupid? Because I'm going to play that game with her. She's like, your show. I was like, did you listen to an episode? She's like, I listened to 1 minute. I was like, of what? What episode? Like, and she tells me, she's like, something about this porno website. And I was like, okay. So I said to her, I said, so you listened to 30 seconds of one episode, and now it's not your cup of tea. It's stupid. What I do is stupid now. It has nothing to do with your like preferences and what interests you and what entertains you. I'm the stupid one. It's not you. It's me. Yeah. So I go, am I tracking that? And she goes, why do you always paint your mother out to be such a bad person? I was like, I'm not painting anything. I'm just rehashing the course of the events here.
I'm just sketching a real life photograph.
Right.
I'm not painting.
I'm not painting anything.
I'm Jack and Rose in this from Titanic.
Right. Pencil drawing only of what's going on here. And if you feel that way, that's on you. Yeah. I used her tactics against you because her tactic is
guilt.
Yeah, well, it's guilt, but then it's a double tactic. Yeah. I'm going to guilt trip you, but then I'm going to put that on you as well. I'm going to double guilt you because she says, I can't control how you feel about what I say. If you feel guilty, that's on you. But she knows what she's doing. And I wish I recorded this.
She's a smooth operator.
I had a phone conversation. I wish I recorded. I got to figure out how to candidly record her because we were back and forth, jawing back and forth, where she's like, I can't help it if you feel guilty. And I said, you mean to tell me you never say things on purpose knowing it's going to jam somebody or right. No,
everybody says like almost everything somebody says,
not Carol,
is to elicit a subconscious reaction, whether it's to make you laugh or to let you know, like yesterday when I was joking about your place, I was kind of telling you, like, I don't want to stay here anymore because your place is gross. But I was like, oh, why don't we buy you some new couches?
Yeah.
It was to elicit a subconscious reaction. So when she says, like,
no, she's the only.
Never mind.
She's the only one.
I thought you would do this, but never mind. Or I thought this would be like that. And it's like,
no, she is the only one in human history of all humankind to never have an emotional intent behind what she says. So her tone is incidental.
She would be great.
What she says is incidental, and it's on everybody else. If they have any sort of feelings or feel sort of way, anything, it's on us. It's not on her.
She would say she would be a great like corporate espionage. Like she just knows how to play mind games.
She wouldn't be though, because
Hold on.
Let's just
Can I
say,
read this text that I just got from Dad
from JPL3.
Yeah, it's not the funniest thing, but this is. I'm going to read.
I got another one too, but
I'm going to read 2 texts that I've gotten from Dad in the past 2 days. This was one from on. I hadn't talked to him in like a few days. Wednesday at 1:00 in the afternoon. This is the text from Dad. Do you know my Apple ID password? Question mark, question mark, question. I am in my bank.
That's it?
So I had to call him like, why do you need your app? Apparently the bank's computers had like shut down and he wanted to deposit so that lady said you could do it through your app, but he didn't know how to do it.
Yeah, good luck, lady.
Yeah. And then today I'm going to Garfield shortly to pick up the Lincoln. Then I'm going to Tony to pick up the turkeys and meat and then going to the cleaners. Do you need anything from Tony's? No, I'm going to go. No, I'm going to go to the place over by S&P to pick up the meats for this year. The A&A in Lincoln Park.
Oh, that's right. They're pretty top notch.
They were. I love Tony to death. God bless.
Yeah,
but he's a little more pricey, and they're a little too fresh.
It's what do you call it?
It's a little too new.
Yeah, you go to Tony for different cuts of meat, different things.
I'll go to Tony for if I'm having like if I want a big brisket, or if I want like a big like Easter when we go to Easter meat.
Yeah, it's a different it's different goals.
Yeah,
you got to have different meats like butchers.
I'll tell you, and I don't want to say this. I mean, hopefully none of them are listening. But who's really gone downhill is Corrado's. Like I used to always go like there.
I've never gotten meats there.
You had my meat.
I mean, you gotta stop.
I hope Bud's
yeah, Big Mike is gonna lose his shit.
No, he's trying to do his
Don't touch my boy. Yeah. Clip that.
But Tony's are they're too fresh.
Yeah, it's for different. It's
not that it's different. It's he makes it in house, which is awesome. But
you gotta let it sit.
Because of his turnaround,
it's never.
It's not.
So what you got to do is you got to maybe buy it and let it sit yourself for a while. I would have had to buy it
like 4 weeks ago. I better reply to him and be like, no.
Yeah, before he buys all these cuts. I mean, I'll take them. I'm never going to turn down.
Do you want me to tell him to get you something?
No. It's okay.
Do you want me to? I can get. Do you want me to get you something when I go to A&A for you to bring home?
Well, maybe.
Yeah. I'm going to.
It's tough for me to turn down a cured meat, if you will.
I'm going to the place by.
I'm looking up this text conversation that I had with JPL3 2 days ago.
So tell him to give me a big slice of parm.
Get some parm, yeah. The good stuff though. Make sure it's not prohibition parm.
No, I want the authentic. We'll have to do like a test.
Yeah. That's fresh. You clean your teeth off with it.
I rub it on a cracker.
Yeah. You get a credit card and you put it on a cracker and then eat the cracker. Yeah. Okay, so it started with this is our father, JPL3.
Mustache.
Did you ever buy that fruit and vegetable powder drink yet? I said, not yet. And then a little while later, do you have binoculars? Maybe some from Grandpa? I said, no, I don't have anything. You probably have them in one of your boxes. He goes, okay. I go, what do you need them for? And I shouldn't have asked.
Yeah.
He goes, I want to look out my window at work at the construction of our new building.
That's not what he
wants. And the other buildings going on that are going up in the area. It's fascinating. One has a crane about 200 feet in the air, maybe more. NYC helicopters get awfully close. That was it. And then a day later, I just get these 2 pictures of the buildings in the crane. And he goes, the buildings with the towers is our building. The crane is on the other building. Crazy stuff.
Did you see? Wait, you were on the family chat? How's the trip down to Johnny? I'm still here. On the family chat about the moon.
Oh, yeah. He had a whole conversation with himself about the moon.
Thursday. Big lunar eclipse combing tonight.
Yeah, combing.
Moon will have reddish glow around it. Last time this happened was 600 years ago.
I don't know if I buy that, but go ahead.
Get Miles out there. Don't need a telescope. Then a minute later, forget it. Looks like clouds.
Yeah, sons of bitch and clouds. Yeah. Damn. Cumulonimbus.
Good.
Yeah, he's
a character.
He's very quickly like, you know how you start to see like people evolving into old, like grandpa types.
See, mom is not. I want to say mom.
No, she's always been crazy.
Mom is in neutral. She's been coasting on the same personality for a couple years now.
Dad hit this precipice. You know how like compounding interest at a certain top level of like accumulating the compound interest, you just start skyrocketing your profits.
Yeah,
he's hit that precipice, and now it went from
skyrocketing.
It went from slow evolution into just rapid increase of old manness. Yeah, because like just imagine. You walk by his office at work, just a random employee, and he's sitting there like with binoculars. And he's just, wow, look at that crane. Look at those bastard buildings.
When we saw him after the race and Steele was there and we finish, we all say, thanks for coming and everything. And we start walking to get breakfast. And I turn around a minute later and he's talking. So what kind of engines you got?
What kind of airplanes? You got propellers?
Is that a prop? He tries to use like industry term. Is that a prop job?
Yeah, but like World War II industry. Like,
what does he got on there? Machine guns?
Yeah. Do you have a gunner?
Where does the bombardier sit?
Yeah.
It's a transport plane.
Yeah, it's not the B-17.
It's not the Memphis Belle.
But we talked about that. Was what's funny is like the day before the Weasel came into town, we were joking with the Crusher about how much Dad loves the Weasel. Steele, that is.
My dad has a Hall of Fame, and it's S&P is top.
Yeah, as it should be.
S&P is top. Lustrous Louis is definitely up there.
He's up there
because he worked for Anheuser-Busch.
That's right.
And then Weasel
close.
Yeah.
So usually Dad has a poor reputation of who he thinks is a respectable person in society. And that's what we were joking about was like, I don't know why he loves the Weasel so much. The guy's a little weasel. Yeah. And then he shows up and as soon as he sees the Weasel after the race, he's just like, oh, Matt,
like
Matt's
across
here.
the beach running.
Yeah, I didn't know Matt was here. And then we all look at each other. Crusher, you and I are just like, see?
Well, I had never met Steele before, and I'm like, oh, from how Dad talks about how his boyfriend talks about him. Like, I thought he was like a really cool, like super successful, like awesome guy. And you're like, he's something.
He's a weasel. Love you, Weez.
No, he was really nice. It was cool that he came out and like supported us and ran on very little training.
Yeah, he's a brother.
Yeah,
we just like giving him shit.
Can I just say one? It's not really a joke, but it's just funny. He does have a almost Danny DeVito-ish type stride.
Yeah, well, he is a little guy
because he's a little guy, but he's stocky, like he's built, like he can beat the shit out of me.
Yeah, he's not a feeble and meek looking character.
No,
mentally he is, but physically, no, he's a strong fella. And it was cool that he came out. It was cool that everybody came out. What do we got? We got a text update.
Okay, how was the trip down to Johnny? And I said, I'm still here. He's like, when are you going down there? I'm like, no, I'm still here. Like
he thought you meant in Jersey.
I'm still at Johnny.
I made it. I think he meant how was the drive down? Oh, because he says trip. Everything's a trip.
Everything's a trip.
Yeah. I get the same messages. I like when he'll text me he knows I'm in the middle of the highway driving like back from Jersey down to Site Alpha, and he'll text me and he'll go like, how's the trip? How's traffic? I'll be like, not bad. And then he goes, don't text and drive. All right, let me go pull over. Like, don't worry, I pulled over the side of the highway to message you. Why would you text me knowing I'm driving? What did you want me to ignore you and think I was dead? Like,
dude, he's an animal. He's an absolute old man. He's every old man stereotype now. Even like his walk, he's got the shuffle, like just kind of like he's kind of hunched over now. He's got his raincoat on. Yeah, the executive raincoat. He's just something else. Yeah, he's a real character. Yeah. Like visually as well, not just. Did he respond? He said, never mind, have fun. I'm like, never mind. What, did you need a favor? Like, no, I think he meant never mind. Like I wasn't talking about the overall trip. I was talking. I know I could speak JPL. Yeah. I think we have that mind meld. I'm a descendant, but you're of the direct bloodline. The direct lineage. You're the direct nose lineage. The nose lineage. Yeah, it's a straight line. Yeah, you just follow your nose. I'm only the stomach variety. Yeah, you know how like the sundial, like cast a shadow. Yeah. It's like the Habsburg Empire because they inbred so much. They all like had the same like feature, same facial feature. You guys all have the same nose. Yeah, well, let's not confuse. No, we're not inbreeding I here. Like, old European societies all like they would all look almost identical to each other. Well, they still do. We saw all those. Well, if you look at a picture, so I think it was George the Third No, I'm sorry, George the Fourth, King of England, the Russian Tsar Nicholas II, and Kaiser Wilhelm. So they were like the three leaders of Europe, Germany, and Russia at the time of the outbreak of World War I. So it was George the Fourth, Kaiser Wilhelm of Germany, and then Tsar Nicholas II, the last Tsar of Russia. They were all first cousins. They were all grandsons of Queen Victoria, and they all looked identical to each other. They all, like, especially Tsar Nicholas II and the King of England, looked identical to each other. And they were all fighting in this war. And that would be like you and like Wendy like, going to war
against each other.
Yeah,
I'd win.
I would hope so.
With all my vast war experience, the seasoned veteran, I'm gonna get you.
To arms?
Question mark.
Question mark.
Send. And now we wait.
Do like a little sit
with my helmet on.
Grandpa's helmet on.
Yeah, with like
Uncle
with
Paul.
like an Ace of Spades picture like on in the card.
You're rolling a heater up.
Rolling a lucky strike. Yeah,
I've seen things.
Yeah.
What's your favorite war?
What's your favorite war? Mine's World War II.
It was a really good one. Well, it was the last good one. You know, in terms of like a defining line of good versus evil kind of thing. It wasn't very political. You know what I mean? It was kind of like it was the last war everyone was on board for. Like we're all on board for this war.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of pushback on that one.
Yeah, I mean there was before
Korea
Pearl
wasn't
Harbor.
as
Korea was another one. Korea was very similar to Vietnam in terms of like why we went there. Like we went there to help the Koreans, but it was a very political. It was a Cold War. You know, it was very Truman was very. You know, it was very political. But World War II was the last no. We definitely know who the good guys are, who the bad guys are. This, you know, it was a fight against
the lines
evil.
became blurred at the end though, because that's what kind of essentially started the Cold War.
Yeah, well, that's why Patton wanted to. He
wanted to ice the Russians.
He wanted to take his troops that had entered Germany as soon as the war was over, and he wanted to push the Russians right out of Berlin. And he could have
should have listened to him.
He was
no bastard. Everyone. That's what talk about a quality picture.
I could watch that movie twice a week.
Yeah, easily.
I don't like the part where he gets in trouble after Sicily, though. I will say that upsets me.
When he slaps the kid with the glove.
Yeah, I like when he's in South North Africa though, when he just kicks the crap out of everyone.
Yeah,
it was, and then the whole battle of the Bulge thing. But that started
George C. Scott.
Yeah, that started.
I thought his name, by the way, I thought he was Patton.
He embodied so much of it, except for the voice. Patton's voice was actually much higher pitched, like very high pitched.
Yeah, but I thought legit George C. Scott
was Patton.
Yeah, I thought I was like, oh, he's playing himself. That's pretty cool because like Audie Murphy was
played himself.
A real war hero who also was an actor afterwards, which nobody really realizes that he was like. He wasn't like well,
there was a lot of he was a war hero who like played himself, but like I think Lee Marvin was there's a Charles Bronson, I think.
Yeah.
A lot of you'll never see that anymore. I can say the only super celebrity I know right now that was in the military is Adam Driver. Yeah. And James Blunt, but he hasn't done what's he done in a couple of years.
I didn't know he was in the military.
Yeah, he was I want to say he was like Air Force, not Air Force, like helicopter.
There's athletes more so. You'll see some football players have done it.
Name a big one. I don't think you can anymore because of how competitive it is. That the time because even if you go to like West Point and play football there, you still have to give them what? 4
but
years?
they do waivers and stuff to allow you to play, and then you give back your time some other way. There's ways around it. I mean, David Robinson was in the Navy. I don't know if he went to the Naval Academy, but he played for the Spurs he was a big time player. Most of the time you see either guys come back late and try to get into the league and they're not like superstars, or they leave to go join the military.
I haven't seen anyone leave since that guy after 9/11, the one who died.
Tillman,
yeah.
Pat Tillman.
What he joined like special forces or something.
I don't remember. I don't know if he was a ranger or what, but he was front lines.
Yeah.
He was big time.
There was somebody else that I remember talking maybe hearing it on Joe Rogan, somebody else that was in like it was really old and then like still joined the special force. It was able to like get into the special forces. I can't remember. It was like a story.
Goggins?
Yeah, he wasn't special forces. He was just regular. He was just regular Air Force, right? I don't even think he was a pilot. Wasn't he Air Force though?
He started Air Force. He was
maybe it was him. Then he lost.
He was a JTAC TAC P, and then he wanted to be a paratrooper or pararescue officer or whatever, and didn't make the cut there. And then he got fat. But then he joined the SEALs.
So he got fat like while he was in the military.
Yeah. And then he left the military for a while. Then he joined the SEALs, became a SEAL.
Okay.
I think he got bigger again for a bit before he started becoming a madman, or maybe it was right before he went to SEAL team to go to Buds. He became like he unfatted himself.
All right.
And then he went to Army Ranger School as a SEAL. Got his Ranger tab, which is no easy task. And then he went to Green Beret course, and he made it through the final day. The only reason why he didn't get selected is because he cheated at the end. They're like, he was saying in his book, like their last hike that they had to do had to be on maps, and you weren't allowed to use roads. And he like took a wrong turn and was like an hour plus out of the way. And he realized, oh, if I don't hit this road here, I'll never make it back. And he made a decision to try that. And they're like, well, you hit the road, so you're out. And he knew, like he admitted to it. It's not like he made any excuses, but he made it through the training, and he would have passed if it wasn't for that. But he's like one of the only guys who has like 3 different special forces types of qualifications. He was JTAC Attack P, which is terminal air control something. I forgot what the P stands for. But that's on the Air Force side. Then he was a SEAL, and then he got his Army Ranger tab, which is like
unreal.
Yeah, those organizations in the military, those teams are like, if you fail out of them, it's not like you're weak or whatever. It's like, oh, you like it's Ranger School or it's Buds or whatever.
Could feel out because you're weak.
There is that, but most of the time you have to be
a certain level to even get accepted to the training.
Right, there's a pre-training tryout that you have to make it through there, and that's also pretty tough. So it does a decent job weeding out that.
Yeah, I can't just show up tomorrow.
But the retention, retention rates are so low. It's like nobody makes, the percentages are so low of who makes it through.
Is what is in the course like public knowledge so people can train beforehand and like, you know what I mean? Or like you don't find out what the training is until you get there.
Most of it is, most of it is very general. Like they tell you like, here's what you need to be able to do at a minimum to make it through so that you can train ahead of time to make sure like there's like running minimums and things like that. Like if you can't run like a 5-mile run in 40 minutes or less, then that's a minimum requirement.
5 miles in 40 minutes. Oh.
Yeah, it's 8-minute miles.
I could do that.
I don't think you can, but
do that.
I can't do it right now either.
You know who else served in our armed forces and then became a celebrity? Will Willis, the judge on Forge and Fire.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, I was like, who?
Yeah.
I didn't know his name.
Yeah,
but he's got that rat tail now.
But he was like para-rescue. He was like a serious like.
I don't remember what he was.
Yeah, he was para-rescue. He would like fly into hot zones and get people
so
out.
That's where most of the military goes. If they're going to be military then famous, they're not going to be like really Hollywood actors.
Yeah,
or anything.
Go on the History Channel.
Yeah, they'll go on History Channel. They'll have their own stuff like Black Rifle Coffee. Yeah, they're all retired special forces guy. Jocko has his own company, Echelon Front. Plus, he has his podcast. Plus, he has he owns Origin USA. Makes a clothes from America. In America, they make more than just clothes, but
are they good clothes?
Yeah, everything's made. Like the guy who started it. In fact, he was on the podcast with Jocko. He started this company. He wanted stuff made in America. Everything, like from getting American cotton and fabric. He found like all these different looms in Maine from an old factory, a condemned factory, and repaired all of them. So they make the fabric and the cloth in-house with these looms, and they get all the materials from America. All the workers are American, and it's sold, and everything is from start to finish. And after Jocko had him on the podcast, like within like 6 months, maybe, they announced that I don't know how it worked out, but I think Jocko just like bought the company and like is like a leading owner or majority owner of it now. And so they sell more stuff. Like they were doing mainly like karate gis.
Yeah.
They got jeans now. They sell boots. They were selling masks in the beginning of the pandemic and stuff.
You should ask them. You should request that they make you a tank, custom tank.
They might have tanks already. But that's mostly what the military, like they'll take their talents elsewhere to do their own thing instead of like acting. Like nobody wants to be a part of that community anymore.
Especially as somebody who's
you're
been
forcing
through,
sex on people to make it to the top.
Somebody who's been to the military also, like with that level of training, it's like, I'm not just going to go and like be yelled at by a director all day. Like I'm going to go into a business or an industry where I can thrive like relatively quickly with my background.
I mean, they don't want to deal with the bullshit of like fake life. Like that's fake. They live in their own little fake universe where they're allowed to touch children and they're allowed to. Speaking of which, wow, I can't believe I forgot to bring this up in the beginning.
Oh, hurry, because I want to have lunch.
You don't care at all, but you should care. Everything going on, all these trials are going on. We got the armchair jurors on social media jurors weighing in with their absolute lack of expertise on all these different trials and situations and all this crap like they usually do. With no knowledge or whatsoever, just throwing bullshit out on the social media Twitter sphere or whatever. Nobody's talking about the fact that Ghislaine Maxwell is about to go on trial in like within a week if it hasn't started already. Ghislaine Maxwell, as a reminder to everybody, is
your arch nemesis.
Is the orchestrator of the whole Epstein child sex pedo ring on Sex Pedo Island. A big case. She's the ringmaster behind the scenes puppeteering all the child sex and trafficking with all these celebrities and bigwigs.
How is she not like talked yet though? Like how is she? As soon as she got arrested, how is she not like, all right, I'll tell you everything, but you got to get me out of here?
Because she's claiming innocence.
There's no way.
That's what she's doing, and the trial is set. She's gonna start.
She's so dead.
I can't believe it hasn't happened. I can't believe she hasn't been suicided yet because the trial was supposed to be in July, and then they pushed it again because they have new evidence to charge her with something different. And I thought for sure that was like the excuse of like, okay, we'll suicide her now. But nobody's talking about it. The media, how do you not talk about like the biggest, most prolific child sex ring in America, right? Like that was going on with all these bigwigs in Congress, the House, the government, celebrities, everybody.
British prince like resigned. Like
they kind of forced him out, but that's another one too, is like British royalty was involved in this child sex trafficking ring. Nobody's talking about how is that okay? How come these trials, which are important stuff, this is the big thing, like this is injustice and this and that. It's like, but we don't care that these super rich people were raping our children and kidnapping and trafficking our children.
Right out of a movie. Like the whole Epstein thing. And that's why people, when they're like, oh, conspiracy theorists, I'm like, yeah, like conspiracy theorists back in the 60s, you were like, no.
Who killed Kennedy?
No. But like,
are aliens real?
Like, you're going to tell me this doesn't sound like it's right out of a movie? Like this billionaire guy, like had all this shit going on and then
would hold it
and the camera was off and then the guards get arrested because they're involved. Like you don't think like this is right out of like a House of Cards.
Yeah.
Literally.
Right. And it's because it's all the big money players are the ones involved that are trying to keep this down. And the media, there's a couple of media personalities that are also indirectly involved or being accused of it. So of course they don't want to bring it up and talk about it. It's one of the most disgusting things that you can see. Like all I just keep thinking about is like if you have children, the fact that like and you don't care about like we're trying to bring these people to justice. We're trying to eradicate or at least mitigate child sex trafficking where they're stealing underage people and forcing them into sex work for these billionaires to do sex to. It's mind-boggling to
Johnny,
me.
It's crazy world.
I mean, unbelievable. And like and this is what pisses me off is there's people that I know, like I'm friends with or I follow on social media that have no problem chiming in with the bullshit political nonsense of like the political high school drama thinking that's important.
Because
but
this
they won't talk about
this
this
get
stuff.
Anybody any clap?
Well, that's the thing. Is like it doesn't push their narrative. It's not part of whatever team that they decided to be on. Yeah. So it doesn't matter to them, and it's not going to get them any sort of play,
exactly,
and likes and sympathy and that dopamine rush and all the addiction stuff that we talk about. But I have to get it out there.
Yeah, you got it out.
The LPDS will never stop talking about this stuff.
They're going to get you. You better watch out.
And remember what I said day one when this all started, right during this Epstein suicide, the fake suicide even, we said, everybody in the junction is part of this, that the Ghislaine Maxwell trial is going to be swept under the rug. They're going to snuff it out with other shit. They're not going to talk about it. And here we are.
Well, you found it.
We found it. Well, I got to give it up to Carrie. She was a guest on a couple episodes ago. She posted about it as well. And I was like, that's right. It is this week. It's time. And then I had another fan, Norway Chris, also hit me up about it as well.
Chris?
Yes. Prolific character.
Yeah. I remember the Rogues Gallery.
Yeah. He was the one who dressed up as WWE Godfather for Halloween one year in 7th grade and went to a school dance dressed as the Godfather with the hoe train of. And I think Cheech was dressed up as one of the hoes from the hoe train.
I don't know who Cheech is.
My roommate Cheech.
Oh, okay.
Tank, Frank the Tank, Cheech. And they went to the school dance like that, and it was like a Catholic school. It was the Godfather.
I'm sure that went over well.
Yeah, it was the Godfather with the hoe train. I think I got pictures. If I do, I'll post it here. But yeah, so he mentioned it too because you can't forget.
No, I'm gonna go home and tell people.
That's right. Tell them to watch this episode too while you're at it.
You're like,
I don't know. Maybe not.
No.
Maybe not. I don't know. All right. You want to go get food?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
All right. Thanks for being here. Oh, real quick, before I thank you 12 more times, we got a big 3.
Yeah,
very important.
I figured that was part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So number 1, exercise every day. You have personally seen. I'm pointing at you, Nick. Everyone in podcast land can't see this, but you have personally experienced the benefits of exercising every day and the negatives of not.
Yeah, I feel like
we talked about it in the beginning.
Yeah, I feel like shit.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's so simple. Do something. A walk, some push-ups, jumping jacks, JOs, jumping humps, whatever you got to do. Number 2, we kind of just talked about it here. Don't be a shitty person. Like the easiest thing to do these days is to see somebody on the internet or whatever and just throw spears and trolls and be a shitbag and push your whatever on them because you just think of them as a profile and not a human being. Think of everybody as a human being. Think how you feel when people shit on you and you don't believe it to be just. The first thing you say is like, you know nothing about me. Why would you say that? That's the same thing on the other end. So what entitles us to do that when we feel like shit when it happens to us? So think about that. Number 3, most important, be genuinely thankful and grateful for all the good you have in your lives.
Especially this week.
Well, I actually discussed this a little bit last week too, is like, Thanksgiving is the big day where everyone says, I'm thankful and grateful, and they cry and they kiss and they hug, and then they go right back. The next day is Black Friday.
Just shoving people out of the way for 20% off of Yamaha.
Yeah, they camp outside. They beat the shit out of people. People literally die in stampedes to go get a PlayStation or a TV or the newest fleshlight or whatever it is that they're going after. It's embarrassing. The day before, not even 24 hours prior, they're talking about love and being thankful. And I'm so happy for my family. And it's like, live it. That's all we say here. Live it every day. So when you guys listen to this episode, think about that, not just throughout this week, but every day. Be thankful for all the good you have because you never know when it's going to be gone. That's one of the toughest things for me, like internally to think about is like one day something is just not going to be there. And you're not going to know when, you're not going to know really why. It's just going to be gone. Yeah. Like your friend, a family member, whatever. And you're never going to be able to go back to show how grateful you were to have that person or whatever in your lives. So do it now. Take the time every day, starting now.
God bless.
And that's that. Now that's all I have to say. So thank you. for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having
Always
me.
a pleasure.
Always an honor.
We're gonna go check out Sebastian Maniscalco's comedy tonight.
Yeah, it should be good.
And then we're gonna hit the road up to the Dirty for a week-long festivities and food and fake thankfulness.
Yeah.
And then right back to
work.
Right back to Crazy Carol and take it out the trash. So thank you guys. Don't forget, like, subscribe, tell your friends, review, leave feedback. I read the feedback. I'm going to keep sending out more things on like the Instagram story and Facebook to solicit for your comments and your questions and whatever else you guys want to do so that we can bring that to light. And I haven't forgotten about the other episode ideas you guys had and things you want talked about. Those are just like full-on episodes that I got to prepare for. So that's what I'm doing. And then we'll have episodes talking about aliens and the Berlin Wall and whatever else I think was discussed. There's a lot of good topics, so we'll do that. But thank you guys again. I love you all. Stay strong.